Born
ready, sir.
Yo, 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 yo. Good morning. Good morning.
Womp, womp, womp. Good morrow, sir. Happy Saturday. Happy late Father's
Saturday.
Day.
Happy Father's Day to me. Happy mysterious Father's Day to all the God knows how many love children Marcos has out in the world.
Yeah, check all those stocks. They're fine.
How many women stole away with your seed to have a little Marcos of their own? God knows. Made it. We've got this is a weird week because you started the week like we got some progress, like things are changing, and then it got it was like, oh, the numbers aren't getting any better, your politicians are as bad as you thought they were, and nobody believes in science.
Yeah,
so
that's my biggest
It was
thing.
a roller coaster of a week for me. How was yours?
About the same. I would say I just came back from somewhere this weekend, and a lot of the people I talked to were oblivious to as the state of our honestly world right now. And a lot of them were like, this is fake, Marcos. It's completely fake. It's made up. And I said, oh my God, really?
What is exactly?
How do you know that?
What is fake?
Oh,
what do they mean? Are you referring
COVID,
to just like everything
the
you brought
mask.
up, or just?
I'm referring to COVID in specific because there's a lot of backlash against people, not wanting to wear masks because, it's suffocating. So many people, I was walking down the street, I saw 3 people lying on the floor, and, the mask, it cut off their oxygen circulation. I'm guessing they collapsed immediately. So I took their wallet and, they're fine. Nice. I'm sure, bad or dead.
Cool. Yeah,
but a lot of people are like, giving me their opinion.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, yeah, and I was like, oh, so who told you this? Like, oh, the guy on the news told me. I was like, oh, the guy that doesn't have his name prefaced by doctor? This person that doesn't have
it really doesn't matter who.
educational training? Like, I'm getting my information from the health department, our actual government officials, doctors that have been appointed to these positions because of their tenure, because of their knowledge, because of the fact that we respect their opinion and we're going to take it serious. And we have people out here that are not doctors, owners, Floridians, some other type of weird person, and they're giving a lot of people fake information. And I don't like to say people are stupid, but I mean, Donald Trump got elected president, so people can stop believing that. Did you see they're making fake ADA cards or whatever that says they're not required to wear a mask, and by law that the person cannot ask them to disclose why they can't wear the mask?
That's not a real
They're
thing.
fake. They're completely fake. The health departments came out and said, like, oh, these are appearing a lot of places. I'm guessing
they're not even a copy of a real thing. They're just completely phony, fraudulent. Yep. Wow. All to get out of what exactly? Like, what are you like wiggling out? Like, I could see like getting like, I did all this so I didn't have to get drafted into the army. But like, what are you wiggling out of? Like, I don't get it. You can make your own. You can literally wear a bandana, wear a Halloween mask. Like, what do you?
What's hard
the great inconvenience?
Breathing, oxygen. It's a necessity for life.
No, you're just not used to breathing hot oxygen. You know what I'm saying? You're not used to breathing. I don't know. As someone who used to be and wore a mascot suits, it is a breeze to wear a little cotton mask. It is not. And I was like, wow, I don't have sweat going into my eyeball with the inability to wipe it from my brow. This is great. So it could get a lot worse. It's not. Maybe, what if that was it? What if we've invented the perfect, what if it was that, like, it's a necklace and and it Wakanda shields your head? Would people find another reason?
Yes, they will. There will always be a reason to abstain from our government.
I went for
abstain from rules.
I mean, there's so many people who don't. I went to a bunch of different stores. Again, I think less people are wearing masks. I actually think the number of people wearing masks is going down.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
because they keep hearing that it's fake. So they're like, oh, why should I wear this mask? I look like a fool going out here. And, going to your point too, I'm like, we both were in like the same field of character mascotting. And I can tell you, I've been out there on some scorchers, some real scorchers, and I didn't pass out, nor have I ever heard of anybody ever passing out without them giving enough adequate, warning to anybody, like, hey, take me in, I can't breathe,
Yeah, and even then, if you're like hyperventilating, go ahead and walk outside, take the time you need, take a Mentos, I don't know, eat a Kit Kat, I don't know what, I mean, they even did the thing, you have a pulse oximeter or an pulse oximeter, and you put it on your finger, and they put the mask on, and you're like, look, my number is not changing. It's just called, it's warmer because you just exhaled it, and it's close to your face. You might sweat a little bit more.
Yep.
Which is okay. Imagine if the people in the Middle East can wear all those garbs and they don't really complain a whole lot, like, you're fine.
And they're in the sun.
Because it's hotter. You've got literally dust and sand in the air. Thousands of people, millions of people still live there. So I don't know.
Once again, showing our privilege.
Our super privilege. Where's the air conditioning? Oh my God. Is this thing air conditioned? I can't live like this. Let me put some ice in my water, ice in my drinks. It doesn't exist in other places, right? Isn't that just an American thing?
That's just American.
Well, we're obsessed with the ice in our drinks. We can't drink it if there's no ice in it.
They've only got to the gas and the liquid state. They haven't got to that third solid state for ice. So
they haven't explored all the states of matter quite yet. Everything's liquid, gas, or plasma with them. Sorry, guys. My goodness. Oh, okay. So, first up on the news, the first thing that I caught this weekend was Jimmy Kimmel was trending. The mob was out again for blood, looking to cancel someone, and which the whole cancel culture thing, I'm kind of 50-50 on it. It's called repercussions. I have no problem with taking away people's. I don't know. Like, for the majority of the part, if you were a horrible person with like no redeeming qualities. And
so tell me a little bit about the story.
To be making money, then I have no problem canceling you. But I don't think we should completely discount people's like body of work. Anyways, Jimmy Kimmel was trending because people were out talking about how in the 90s, the Man Show and other things that Jimmy Kimmel was a part of, they would do some blackface, some off-color humor. The whole point was, who could they offend? I mean, think of all the 90s stuff, Comedy Central especially, FX probably a little bit too, South Park. I don't know how Family Guy, no one's talking about Family Guy. Family Guy is sacrilegious every single day. Anyways, we're talking about Jimmy Kimmel, and they would do those ones where they were basketball players, and he was Shaq, and he had a Shaq impression, right? Or was it Shaquille O'Neal? I can't remember. who he exactly
That's the same person.
No, I'm saying who Jimmy Kimmel was impersonating as a basketball player, and he would have blackface on, and and so they were talking about cancel Jimmy, and I was like, how I personally feel about it, which doesn't matter at all. I will totally admit my opinion doesn't matter, but I'm like, I have liked Jimmy more recently because he's been like super woke recently. I didn't like him back on Man Show. I didn't really like the Man Show. I thought it was low-hanging fruit. It was just,
that was the 90s.
We never go for that type of humor of, let me just say something offensive and wow you with how offensive I can be. We're not really about that type of humor. You know that. But so that's how I never really liked it until he got on the Late Show, and he's more proactive. I guess ever since he went through a bout with his child's, I think, health problems, he's been more mature. But that was 30, 20 some years ago. So I don't know how to feel. What do you think?
I think it comes down to like how they're able to react to it now. Like, I haven't read or heard about this. I think you briefly sent me something. But I would say to that, like, has Jimmy come out to acknowledge that and say that it was completely wrong?
He had actually just gone on like 2 months. He announced that he would be on vacation for like 2 months, sort of hiatus from 2 months for like a week before this started. So They were like, did he know it was coming out and then dip out early just in case, or?
I don't know, and I think we're gonna wait for his reaction. If he comes out, takes ownership, and says like, "Hey, this material needs to be pulled. It was appropriate back then. Now looking back at it, I don't think it reflects highly of myself or the show or Viacom in general. So you know what? I hope that they do pull that, and I'm gonna do everything I can to promote more awareness. First off, my security guard Guillermo, I think we're going to either cut him from the show or we're going to give him a different show or some other type of opportunity. But he's too secondhand as like that Mexican guy that can't speak English. Like, honestly, I've never really watched Jimmy Kimmel. I've only seen Jimmy Kimmel when Kobe Bryant has been on his show. Or when he has like whoever won the NBA championship. Those are the only times I've ever seen the Jimmy Kimmel Show. Those are the only times.
So he has since come out. He did go on vacation. He has since come out with a statement that is not going to be enough for some people, obviously. But he did say, he regrets it and whatnot. I can pull it up, but we don't have to. But it's important that we at least acknowledge that he did respond to it and say. But the interesting thing and the thing that people are taking a problem with. So he did apologize, obviously, but it was in the past, and that he's matured it, and he knows that it was wrong now. And he did say he's evolved, but he doesn't want to allow the people who have like dug this out of history, seemingly out of nowhere, because like most of us, we knew this happened, but the mob decided to bring it up now. Who knows why? And he wants to make sure that those people, that he doesn't want them to win and discount all the things that he's doing now for equality. And like he's been in a fight for Medicare for all. He's been a strong voice for rehauling the healthcare industry and in civil rights in general. So it's an interesting situation because it's another one where like just the mob comes out and people like you and me, I don't know why or why did that happen now? That was 20 some years ago. I don't know, election season. They want to take down all of the voices that are loud against Trump. So the Russian tweet farms just start. They just pick a guy. They got a whiteboard. They're just going, okay, next is so and so. Tina Fey. This is following up. Tina Fey was brought up, and her depiction of Asian characters in Mean Girls, Kimmy Schmidt, some other projects. They're always called like Fong or Dong. And right in Mean Girls, all the girls who were sleeping with the coach, right, were all Asian girls, and they like fought over him. Remember that? So there's like a repeat thing of like, what's... Go ahead.
Her best joke was Kung Flu, I believe. She wrote it for Trump.
Ouch. No, that's not true. That's a lie.
That was just Trump. My bad. My bad.
Yeah, that was just Trump. Yeah. Well, exactly. So, like, all of a sudden, you know, I'm not saying they're on either side. I don't know their political affiliations. They have a sense of humor, so it makes me think they're at least smart enough to hate Trump. Because usually people with no sense of humor, they lack that part of their brain, and therefore they're easily believe stupid things. You notice that you have no sense of humor? Donald Trump talks like a comedian, but there's never a punchline, and the punchline is always punching down.
Yeah.
Unlike most comedians, we punch up. Well, that's kind of a comedy minutia thing, but you know what I mean?
I love it.
Tina Fey was coming in. So I guess the topic of cancel culture in general has kind of been a thing. I think they were talking about Joe Rogan too, but he's kind of been very face value with how he feels about everything. So I don't know. Howard Stern. People were talking about how Howard Stern used to do some very racially, culturally insensitive humor. But then again, that was like, it's Howard Stern. The most filthy, horrific things are going to come out of his mouth. That was the genre of 90s humor. So people being surprised now is interesting. But again, I think it's more important, the lesson right now is to not, you can't pick and choose things out of history. You got to take the full body of work. Approach to people, and what have you done for me recently? I think also, what have you, right? What's the saying? What have you done for me lately? I think that matters a whole lot. What lately, have they improved? Have they changed? Are they running around blackface right now? Or was it in the 90s when they were stupid, where a lot of shit, the speed, like Charlemagne the God on his show, I don't know if you watched him. Shout out Charlemagne. He often refers to it as like the speed limit was higher back then. It's much slower. That they changed the speed limit. You can't be, you're 65 right now. Well, this used to be a 45, so he's a 65. That ain't, you know what I'm saying? That ain't right, or whatever, what have you. You know what I'm saying?
I think another thing that we may not be asking ourselves as well is like, why are we attacking all of these groups, which is largely white people, celebrities that have been in power for how long? They own most of the top TV shows, whether they're producers, whether they're the hosts, whether they're the top character, whether they're a reoccurring character, Tina Fey. But I'm like, you see all these people, how long they've been in power. Yeah, how many black, late night TV shows do we have other than Trevor Noah? Who's that Indian chick that came out?
Didn't even think about him. I was like, none. Oh wait, yeah, Trevor Noah, he's great.
Him, the new Indian chick that's on NBC. We've seen a couple of her shows.
Wasn't it just YouTube?
It was YouTube first, and then she's on NBC now. I think she's late. But I'm like, look at all these people. They're all white hosts, all controlling entertainment. I think that's kind of where the attack is coming from as well, because I like, when you say the Jimmy Kimmel, I remember the one thing I didn't like about his show was Guillermo, even though he was like his best friend.
He's still on Guillermo. It's still on.
Yeah, but it's very much like a punching down.
As long as there are those among us who are totally fine playing the heel or the foil or what have you, They're like, he's fine. He's making a living. Look, we even saw his house. He lives in a nice house. It's probably a $2 million house, three or more. And that's probably still low.
At what
it's
cost?
like a $5 million house
cost?
in LA. Still, yeah. At the cost that they're still gonna write characters like that and expect the rest of us to play them. That's the cost. That they're gonna want to see more of it.
But if I were to get my own talk show and I had like, a black slave as like my person that would open the door for everybody, or my security, and I'd be like, hey, person, I got you some enter favorite food of person here, would people be outraged? Because a lot of the telling you, watch it. I'm like, that's why I can't watch it. I cannot watch it. I love Guillermo. I think he is funny. I think he'd be so much more funnier. But yeah, that's where I think that a lot of people are going to, and I don't like that as well. Think about Chelsea lately. She has a Mexican midget sidekick. Really? Jenny? Chewy.
I have not watched that.
I've never seen Chelsea lately either. You see, but
what channel is that? I don't even know what channel that is.
Oh, well, Chelsea lately is that I don't even think she's on TV anymore, but she used to have her talk show.
Oh, you're talking about back then.
Oh yeah. Again, going to the past.
So you're saying it still counts. If you did it once, you did it, and if you never paid the price, then now's a time like any. Now's just as good a time as any to pay it. Is that's what your position is?
I will say that I'll give an example. So recently, the person that plays two examples, I guess. One is from Big Mouth, the Netflix series, is a black character on the show. Jenny Slate played her, and Jenny Slate came out and basically retired from.
Did you just say a white woman was playing a black person in a cartoon?
Yes, Jenny Slate.
So they're doing a black voice?
I don't know. I've never seen the show. Again, a lot of these shows I've never watched. But she came out. She said, "Hey, this should be played by an African American. I'm stepping back." Another big one, Family Guy. Family Guy. Cleveland is not played by a black person. He's played by a white person. That person too has come out and said, "I should not be playing this role. I'm
got his own
stepping
show.
away." Yeah, he had his
Cleveland
own
got
show.
his own. Cleveland got his own spinoff. Didn't he?
It got canceled, but yeah. Hey, you only need to have it once, right?
So speaking of which leads us to, thank you for bringing this up. What a perfect segue. The opposite has also they have attempted to, right? So I don't know if you are aware, but in the DC, in cartoon watching fandom, he's already famous. But it's even more so when you get into like DC and video games, DC cartoons. He's even more famous. Phil Lamar. You'll remember him as the UPS guy from Mad TV. Remember Mad TV?
Oh, I love Mad TV back there.
Yeah, he's this little cart, and he's like, "What's going on?"
Yep.
That's Phil Lamar, and he is a prolific, one of the most, for me at least, my favorite voice actor probably all time, just because he plays iconic characters. He plays Green Lantern a lot. He's played characters in video games all the time. He's done it all essentially, and he's on freaking Mad TV, which is awesome. So he plays the Green Lantern, and he has played Hal Jordan. And people were like, black guy playing a white guy. Well, what about you? And he was like, don't come for me for that. He was just like, miss me with that. I'm not even gonna entertain it. And I was like, yeah, unless you fix all this, you can't come for him. He's the last. If there is a list, he's the last on it because he's out here getting work, which is more than you'd give a lot of other people. But even so, I don't know. Maybe that's wrong too. Well, now we have to
Yep.
look like every character we play in the voice.
Well,
So if the redhead guy, I can't play a redhead guy because I'm not redheaded.
No.
Unless he's Irish. Can I do an Irish accent? Can I study the Irish dialect and then do an Irish accent? Or is it the nature
I think that would fall on you. And I think that would fall on you. Like, are you a super rich, well-off celebrity that can get any other type of role? Or are you a starving actor that needs this job to survive?
So status and prestige matters.
I absolutely think so. Like, think about these people that have, they've profited off of everything they've done. We're talking about millionaires that you, me, and some people will never see half of their amount of money in our lifetime. And you're telling me these people can't stop doing these roles just to give others an opportunity?
So we need like a formula almost, which is like a grievance, minus like salary per project times
I love you went straight to math.
value, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, well, if you're a black guy
Please
and this is the only role you
formula.
play, well then it's cool. But if you're a white guy and you've been made money that you can afford to not play it, then you're out.
It's a different formula.
We'll just put it in machine.
Please excuse my.
Yes, you're cast. Or sorry, we're gonna have to see you on the next one.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Which one are you? Which one are? Oh, we got to start with these numbers then. We got to start with these numbers.
All right, order of operations, everybody.
Yep.
So you're more a fan of? Well, it's really just a distribution of wealth, essentially. You want the distribution, but qualified distribution.
Exactly. I'm not telling you to stop playing your great roles that you write yourself,
so like
to stop producing these shows.
Will Smith can just keep doing whatever Will Smith does. Nothing for Will Smith. Will Smith, Denzel Washington, zero. You can play an Irish guy. Nobody cares. You can play a Chinese person, Will Smith. Doesn't matter.
Possibly, I would say that I would cut the lines when it comes to disabilities. Like, is Will Smith playing a dude in a
Bryan
wheelchair?
Cranston in the movie with Kevin Hart. Bryan Cranston can't play wheelchair man? Or how about, or like this, you can, but you have to have at least interviewed or for the part, auditioned at least like 4 dudes who are paralyzed, who are acting.
Or put them in the damn movie with you. You're telling me that the dude in a wheelchair doesn't have friends that have wheelchairs as well? Instead, he's so...
There's got to be one scene where they're in the gym and the rest of them are playing wheelchair basketball, and he goes, "Come on, man!" And then he breaks out of his shell, and you play with all the other guys who actually are paralyzed for that one montage scene.
Because you're including them as a part of that story. You're not exploiting that disability.
It's difficult. I think like you have to require the effort, but you also can't force it. You have to require the effort, but you can't it's like, listen, man, we have to go to some emotional places that only an actor at the caliber of Bryan Cranston can go to. These other guys they're just not there. And then I could be like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, so what about Doctor Strange when what's her name played the Asian?
Well, she did not play an Asian character. The comic book character is of the descent of Asia. I don't know where his particular. He's a Buddhist kind of monk kind of thing. So they took the idea of monk, and she was really more of a Gaelic monk. You're talking like. Because people from all walks of life do the monk monastery priesthood thing, and they specifically did not call it the name of the character because it's also Sorcerer Supreme, but he has a name. And she has a different name. Her character name is technically different. And I mean, that's why they do the kind of switcheroo that they do, because when he first enters the temple with Mordo, you see the Japanese guy. He's famous. He does a lot of work. That Japanese actor in his kimono. Is it a kimono or a gi? It's more of like a gi he's wearing. I don't know exactly what it is. But he's the guy who's missing a hand. Later, you find out he takes it out of the arm things. He's one with missing a hand. So you think he's like sipping tea, and he thinks he's the master, but then he leaves, and then she comes in, and he's like, "Oh, what?" So that was kind of like a play. It's like, no, we're not going there. Comic book nerd in the audience who thinks, are they about to do a super cringy Asian character? You know, for them, it was like, no, we're not doing that. It's this lady, and she's just yoga master. Think of it more like yoga, which is white people. Also, I was thinking about that. Is yoga cultural appropriation, or is that an Indian thing? Next time on What's Happening. So that she was technically a different character.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. I didn't really care.
She was not playing. I like the movie. I can't wait for Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Can't wait. Coming up, this was, I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to share my screen while I bring this up. This hit, and I feel like people still haven't stopped talking about it because it hit, and then everyone was like, this can't be real. And then it hit the major trades, your Variety, the Wrap, and it's such a weird week for DC fans. So on the first episode, we talked about the Snyder Cut. Yes. And we kind of went into what's kind of the situation with your universe, if you will, and then the news about now I can't find it, which is hilarious. Let's see, because it was.
Ever since you told me about this cut, I have done nothing but stop thinking about and waiting for it to drop, and I'm just waiting for you to tell me when it drops, because I am legit
the one that
going to watch this.
Release?
Unfortunately.
You did, yeah, which is so sad.
Yeah, I thought
how forgettable it is. It's so sad that the first team up of the greatest superheroes
DC.
of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one's more globally recognizable than Batman and Superman. There's no one across. There's people, you'd find humanoids on the moon and show them a picture of a Batman, and they'd be like, "Oh, Batman." They would know.
How many people have referred to themselves as Superman?
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
Or Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, I just tricked out my car to look like Batman.
Dude, it looks like the Batmobile. Oh my God, he's so strong. What is he, Superman? Literally. Oh my God, that's the Batmobile. Oh my God, he's like Superman. He can
and the closest you get is Marvel trying to copy Batman with Iron Man, which is the next probably coolest.
I feel like
Marvel
people know Iron Man from the Ozzy Osbourne song. Exactly. People know that lick more than they know about Tony Stark, the Iron Man.
Yep.
People know more. Right? People
Speaking of Iron Man, the series is on Disney Plus.
What Tony Stark's dad's name was. You know what I mean? But everybody knows Batman. He got a bunch of gadgets. He got a guy named Robin. He fights the Joker there in Gotham. Anyone can name those things.
And he's a billionaire.
Anywho, this was the biggest, the Batarang. He got a car. And he's Bruce Wayne, and his parents were murdered in an alley. Everyone knows. Yep. Everyone knows these things. Or they
That's
can
why you
tell
don't
you
leave
anything
theater
about
early.
Captain America. The average person does not know Captain America's real name. They do not know his love of his life or the motivations behind half the things he does. Everybody knows Batman's parents were murdered in an alley. Superman's parents sent him on a spaceship from Krypton. Krypton blew up. Everyone knows these things. Anyways, this
Superman helps people learn English.
Shout out DC Comics. Another superhero. Anyone who plays for the Lakers. What a homer thing to say.
Well, Dwight Howard,
the internet
technically.
Into an absolute. Yeah, there you go.
Superman.
Sorry. The Mamba is the greatest superhero of all time. Black Mamba.
Woo!
24 seconds of silence for Kobe Bryant.
We'll just do 8 for this podcast.
There we go. This was insane. This came out. Michael Keaton in talks to play Bruce Wayne in the Flash movie.
Absolutely. He went from his biggest role, Birdman, to play Batman.
We played Batman, and then he played Birdman, then he played Birdman. Then he played the Vulture in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
There you go.
Only to play Batman
twice.
Again. What?
Although I wasn't crazy about him in Spider-Man. I wasn't crazy. Well, then again, I wasn't crazy about that franchise in general.
I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was probably the best part of that Spider-Man.
I was waiting for Birdman.
I thought he was the best part of that. I love Birdman.
I'll give you that, but that's not a lot.
What a wonderful movie loved Birdman was.
That was great.
So good.
It deserved everything.
Oh my God. I laughed. I cried.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. So this
shout out Edward Norton.
Is the problem with this? Shout out Edward Norton.
Hell yeah, American History X. That's currently what's going on. He needs to come out and change all these freaking white supremacists.
Imagine if Edward Norton just came out and just jacked up again. He just got ripped. He got huge, shaved his head, and just came out to these rallies like. But then like marched with the black people. And
yes.
Look at
absolutely
these
because
guns, bro.
That was the best movie. It shows you why it's wrong.
So wrong. And like the mind washing that goes into
mm-hmm.
it, the hive mentality of it all, the mob mentality, which is so
yeah,
which
scary.
Bringing it back, mob mentality, the Joker. The problem with this news about Keaton is we just had in Justice League, which is coming back, so it's still right now. In Justice League, Ben Affleck was the Batman. But simultaneously, we are filming a movie with Robert Pattinson as the Batman. But then you're also telling me that the Flash, who was with Ben Affleck Batman, is going to be not with Ben Affleck Batman, not with Robert Pattinson Batman, but Michael Keaton, Tim Burton Batman?
If there's one thing I learned from economics, it's too much is bad for the market.
Yes, that is what they call an overabundance, a surplus. Your price, your stock, your selling price, your MSRP goes down.
But
demand
unless
goes down.
Unless it's done phenomenally and we just eat all of these up.
Yeah, so point one was this is the wrong Batman. We had two Batman to choose from, and you done brought in a third mystery guest.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson. Get rid of him.
Okay, if you were Robert Pattinson, you'd be like, they're bringing Ben Affleck back over here, and then they're going to bring Keaton. What the hell? What am I doing here?
What am I?
Why am I even here if he's over there and he's over there? What the hell? You know what I'm saying? So I would feel like if I was Robert Pattinson, well, see, that's why I'm not Robert Pattinson, because he probably could give two shits. He doesn't give a damn. He does not care. He's on that next level where it's like, I'm an actor and I play things. Then like, no, I'm an actor and I become things. And then he's at the next level where it's like, I was never anything and neither are these roles that I played. Also, I'm an actor, I guess, if that exists. He's that guy.
Oh my God.
So aren't we all actors? Like that he's on that, I'm out of this planet thought process. You know what I'm saying? So he could give two dicks.
Wow.
But if I was his agent, I would have a lot of problems with what's going on right now. You need to tell me.
Absolutely.
Because then that's the first thing. Your first thoughts are this on the first day, right? Monday, this news breaks. Tuesday, was that Monday? That literally was Monday. Monday, this news breaks, June 22nd.
Yeah.
Tuesday, you wake up going, hold on. I just watched the Flashpoint. I just watched Flashpoint, man. This is the story in which the Flash goes back in time to save his mother. And therefore creating a branch universe where Bruce Wayne was murdered in an alley. And Thomas Wayne becomes the Batman. And Martha Wayne becomes the Joker. Heartbroken from her loss of her only child. So that is what happens in this comic book. See, this is Thomas Wayne, and he uses guns. Cool. And he was the real.
Wow.
Anyways,
I need to watch
they're
this.
like, okay, what if he's, which then kind of, check it out. Check out the movie. Flash. I think it's called The Flash. This one, Justice League, Flashpoint Paradox.
Sick.
They made a cartoon movie. Check it out. Shout out that movie. But it's essentially the idea of multiverses and multiple versions. Which, if you watch the WB TV shows, which I hella don't, because I already watched Dawson's Creek and Roswell, so I can't. But even they did a multiverse thing. They've done multiple multiverse things. In fact, that's how they started. Was there was just the Flash and Arrow. They existed on one Earth, and then they went to Earth 3. That's where Supergirl took place, because Supergirl used to be on CBS, and then when they folded her into CW, it became one of their shows, and they wanted them to hang out. So then they were like, "Oh, it's Earth 3." And then there was the Crisis on Earth X, which is the Nazi Germany won World War II Earth.
Wow.
And that's where everything's horrible. And Supergirl is like depowered and a slave. And the Arrow is the Fuhrer, which is weird. And the Flash is like dead or something. Yeah, that's the Earth X thing that they did. Then they did Crisis on Infinite Earth this last year, which they... Crisis on Infinite Earths CW. They just did this. This was like last year. They brought in Black Bolt. That's not Black Bolt. I forget his name. And Batwoman. And there's multiple. They brought Brandon Ruth.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I remember hearing about this.
Brandon Ruth from the early 2000 Superman movie that Bryan Singer directed. That was meh.
I remember that.
They referenced the Tim Burton Batman. If you remember the reporters at the newspaper, there was the guy who was the funny kind of bumbling idiot with the blonde hot girl. Was it Kim Basinger? The guy
I know which guy
they bantered with.
Yep.
He was in this episode of this at the very beginning. They saw him.
Wow.
I don't know if you saw this guy. You've seen him. You saw this guy.
Yep.
He was like, whoa, something's happening. They brought in. See, there he is. Remember this guy?
Yep. Absolutely. That's crazy.
They brought him in. They brought in the Titans, which was on the DC Universe TV show.
Yeah.
Again, Brandon Ruth from the movie. So it was like they're doing it. They're doing the multiverse thing. So now, if this is happening, and he showed up. Ezra Miller himself showed up with the other Flash. The Grant Gustin and Ezra Miller's characters saw each other.
You're right. Yep, I remember that.
So it's like, are we gonna see the other side of it? What's he gonna keep going, and we're gonna do this now in a movie? Which seems like this was very hammy TV.
Yeah, that's why I can't watch it.
I feel like that'd be a hard sell in a movie, but they could be done. They've done crazier things. So how stoked are you for this?
It's tough because, like, no matter what, I'm gonna watch any Batman movie. I don't care. Honestly, I wouldn't even probably care if Donald Trump was playing Batman. I'd probably still go watch it for some fucking reason because I'm like, I need to see what this is all about. But that's how it is for me.
What would Donald Trump do if he was Batman? Play? Yeah. It does.
We never see him actually as Batman in that movie. He's just Bruce Wayne in that movie, and it turns out Bruce Wayne's a fucking prick. Yep. Turns out he's a huge prick. Doesn't have an orphanage. But I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll watch the Robert Pattinson one too.
See, here's the thing. I'm torn. I purposely did not go watch Dark Phoenix because I was like, Apocalypse was trash, and I can't believe they're making this. They already made this movie. And I was like, I'm voting with my dollar. I saw Thor Ragnarok, which might be my least favorite Marvel character, albeit that's now my favorite movie. But Marvel character-wise, Thor is before the MCU. I could not care less. I thought the idea of Frost Giants was cool, and that's only because I played this game called Age of Mythology. Anyways, I couldn't care less about Thor, but I saw that movie Thor Ragnarok 3 times in the movie theaters.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I was like, I gotta start voting for my dollar. If it's trash, I should not go watch it. And after Age of Apocalypse, I was like, I'm not gonna pay to go watch Phoenix. I'm not gonna do it. And then I got burned. I think I watched it with you guys. I think we got pretty hammered and watched Batman: The Dark Knight Rises, the one with Bane. Pretty sure I watched with you and Magnus at the IMAX. Did we not? That sounds super familiar.
Oh no,
pretty sure
we watched it together. It was with me. We watched the 3 a.m. showing.
Yes. Yep. It was hella late. Yeah. Yep. And that movie was because the Steelers were in it, right?
Yep. Heinz Ward was in it. He ran back a touchdown. That's how you know it was fake.
Best. You're right. Kickoff return too, which is that dude's rated 85 in speed on Madden. There's no way.
That's excessive.
That's
excessive.
You need 97 speed minimum to return a kick. He's 86. He's his jersey number in Madden, straight up. 93 if they won the Super Bowl that year.
My gosh. Get out.
I don't make the ratings. I'm just saying what it is. Anyways, so that movie was meh. And ever since then I was like, you gotta pay with your dollar. So I didn't see that one. And there was talks of Ben Affleck directing, writing, and starring in his own Batman movie with
he should have did it.
Who you see at the end of Justice League, played by Joe Manganiello. And I was like, that sounds, and they're like, we're gonna team up with the guy from The Raid, which is all about like close action, horrible, dope fighting. You know, it's like, yes, if I could get the warehouse scene from Batman vs Superman for 90 minutes,
Whoa!
I'm in.
Wow!
You know what I'm saying? Like, just
was
fight,
that like
just
the best
brutal
scene?
hand-to-hand busting people. Yes, the warehouse where he comes in to
Yeah.
save Martha Kent. That's the best
Yeah.
scene in the movie. That's like Darth
That's
Vader
what-
at the end of Rogue One. It's the same thing. I'm waiting this whole movie to see this dude wreck shop. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So if I could get a
Absolutely.
Batman movie with him just wrecking fools for at least an hour, you know, I'm done.
I'm
And
in.
I loved,
I'm in.
You know, me personally, I liked Ben Affleck as Batman. And
I agree.
You know, Deathstroke, never seen him in a movie, sounds cool. That didn't happen. Then we get, well, you know, and we don't know the timeline of events, whether or not Ben Affleck was already saying, I'm done, before or after they said no to his script. I don't know if they ever said no to his script. Because then they hired
Who could say no?
Matt Reeves from the Apes movies. They hired Matt Reeves, and then something around the same time we heard Ben Affleck was out and him going, I want my own actor. So like, for me, the optics were Matt Reeves was hired and he was like, no, I'm good on Ben Affleck, which like breaks my heart, which is like horrible. Maybe that's not true.
So he said no to
Ben Affleck
him.
was probably like, I'm out. And then they were like, well, if Ben Affleck's out, we're going to do a Batman movie regardless. So let's just hire this dude. And then they started on a journey with that dude. That's probably more likely what happened. And then he goes and gets his own guy, which is Robert Pattinson. But I'm saying, like, the bar, regardless of who said what when, who wanted who, whatever, regardless, just the idea that we could have had X, but we're getting Y, the bar is so freaking high for me that
so question,
I'm almost like, I want to pay with my dollar or vote with my dollar by not seeing the Batman with Robert Pattinson and saying, wow, if you had put Ben Affleck in this movie, I'd have gone. Which, as a Batman DC Comics fanatic, that's going to be extremely fucking difficult to do.
So, question.
Again, 3 a.m. for The Dark Knight Rises, and I'm pretty sure I saw it again anyways.
Yeah, you did. I remember because you saw it again with your brother or your dad.
I was so drunk, I'm going to see it again. Yeah, probably.
Yep, I remember.
Like, I go IMAX. Like, the last time I went to one of these movies at the regular theater was over a decade ago. I played premium ticket price multiple times to see these movies. I go IMAX or bust on these movies.
I busted on Ant-Man. That's why I don't do that anymore.
I like Ant-Man, but
I love Paul Rudd. I did not like Ant-Man.
Ouch.
Yeah, because Ant-Man was like, here goes this regular ass dude with no muscles. Guess what? He's gonna kick crime's butt as an ant. Oh, by the way, it also used to be this really old guy in the movie who's still gonna be Ant-Man halfway during the movie as well. Don't get me wrong, Ant-Man's sick when it comes to like the MCL
in the comics, there are
universe.
There was Hank Pym, the original Ant-Man, and then there was Scott Lang. This is a thing in the comics too. They didn't make it up just for this movie. And timeline-wise, if they were to do Hank Pym now, they couldn't do the whole where has S.H.I.E.L.D. been for the last 100 years. Since, you know. I don't know. That's how I feel about that. The next thing we've got coming up, you sent me... what is this? You sent me an Instagram? I don't know what that was. But then you got a subject that you wanted to ask. What's the most you've ever gambled?
It's Woody Page from ESPN analyst,
Oh,
and he's
okay, yeah.
talking,
With a
and
dry
he's
erase board right here all the time.
yeah, he always
Horrible.
has the funny saying on. He's talking about an experience he had in Vegas where he's sitting at a poker table and he's betting with $25. And who comes to the table? Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan puts down $25,000. So Michael Jordan gets an 8 and an 8. So what does he do? He splits them.
Split it.
He splits them. And when he
He would have
splits them,
not done
he
that.
gets another 8. So what does he do? He
Split
splits
it.
those, and he has to ask for Charles Barkley to get more money. Essentially, Michael Jordan puts down like over 75 grand on this hand, and Woody hits on his. He gets blackjack on his $25, and Michael ends up losing. And he just talks about it because he was like, oh, Michael was upset, but honestly, Michael didn't think twice about it and just left. So my question was, how much is the most money you've ever gambled, and how much is the most money you've ever won? Because
I am not a gambler. The most I've ever gambled was, I think, like $20 on one roulette. Like 20
God,
red.
20
That's
bucks?
probably like the most. And like for one hand, yeah, I entered a poker tournament once with you guys, right, at like Table Mountain. What was the buy-in for that? Like 100?
No,
Was it less?
cheap.
It was less. It was much less.
It was cheap. It was like $35 or something.
Yeah, so like that would be the most I've ever bet. The most I've ever lost was probably that, because I did not win. The most I've ever won. The most I've ever won was like over $100. It was like a 25-cent buy-in on this large online Hold'em tournament. There's like thousands of people, but we spent like, it was like 25 cents to $1. It might have been $1 or something, and I won. I won. I think we won the whole thing, and I won like $120 or something.
Wow!
Because they pay out the whole final table, so second place still got like 90, third place got like $60, fourth place,
Wow!
Until like the 12th player got like their money back, which is like $1 or something. But there was,
who the fuck wants their dollar back?
Yeah, they're like, go to hell, But like I sat there for an afternoon and I played that whole tournament and I won. That's the most I've ever won. Because it was, the buy-in was cheap. So I was like, what if the buy-in was like $10? I'd have won like several hundred. But whatever.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can do that anymore. Is there still online poker? This would be the best time for some online real money poker games to be going on.
I believe it's still on hiatus because I believe they never passed the law or whatever. Here in California at least, we're not allowed to.
In fact, if you were a casino, you'd be like, we need to get this off the ground right now. We can't have no people in here. This sucks. Even though I hear the casinos are open.
They are, and I've heard it's terrible in Vegas. I've heard nobody is wearing face guards. Nobody is practicing social distancing. It's just like a shit show. That's what I've heard. But I've heard it's still million times better than Florida.
Yikes.
And that's saying like with everybody inside of a building.
I'll stop sharing here while I bring up another story here. You got any topics we can talk about?
Yes. I got one. So, did you hear Disneyland is planning to change Splash Mountain? It is going to be changed into the Princess and the Frog ride. So, the iconic attraction will no longer be in Disneyland, and they said it's over racist situations throughout the ride. I am not
Why it's not ringing a bell for me. What's racist about Splash Mountain?
I don't know. I don't know too much on it, but from what I've heard is that I think when you're going down the ride, honestly, I've only been to Disneyland like a handful of times. The last time I went was maybe in 2013 with a couple friends, and the time before that it was grad night. So I've been there, and the time before that it was when I was a child. So I've been to Disneyland 3 times in my life. Um, but I guess when you're going down that Splash Mountain, you come to like slower sections where there's like a monster eating like aborigines or people that live in the mountain, and like
Nice.
yeah, they're like Eskimos or something. I don't really know.
Because it's like an abominable snowman or something, right? A Yeti,
yes.
right? So there's a Yeti, and he's eating indigenous people.
Look it up, because I don't know too much about it, but that is what I would probably concur would be like the racist situation that would force them to change probably the most iconic ride at Disneyland. Other than, I mean, think about Tower of Terror got changed, and I thought that was like the coolest like attraction that was there. But you can't beat New School.
This was a change.org petition. The log flume ride, which is in Florida, California, and Japan, is steeped in extremely problematic and stereotypical racist tropes from the 1946 film. The petition, which called for a redesign, announced Thursday. That was 2 days ago. While the statement made clear that Splash Mountain will be redesigned at Disney World, it did not mention the version of the ride that exists in Tokyo. Strong disapproved of saying in an effort to neither to offend audiences north or south, the production helps to perpetuate a dangerously glorified picture of slavery. Unfortunately, gives the impression of an idyllic master-slave relationship, which is the distortion of the facts. Ouch.
There you go.
Oh, they also removed the misogynist depiction of a bridal auction in Pirates of the Caribbean. Yikes.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was still up in 2013.
Wow, I don't.
Because I was like,
honestly, I don't remember seeing this.
Well, I like honestly, I didn't even think too much about it.
Get rid of that shit.
That's exactly it.
I don't give a damn.
Hey, just like those old Confederate statues, get them the hell out of here. Nobody wants them, and the people that do want them can go fish them out of the river, but only with them. They can't use like a boat or anything. Like they have to swim down to the bottom of the ocean, grab it, and bring it up, swim it to shore, and then they can have it. But that's the only way you can do it.
I guess that's also the same movie where the Song of the South is from.
Ooh.
Splash Mountain thing. So, which is hella not cool.
Well, Disney had some fucking racist ass films back in the day that they have taken out of their vault.
Right. Horrible. Sorry, going back. Horrible news. This is our current curve in Fresno County.
Look at the United States. Have you seen the curve for the United States?
We're going like
everywhere else in the world is going down except for the United States, and it's Fresno, Florida, and
places like it.
Wherever the racists are, like they're pretty much like shooting up the numbers because they're talking to each other like, "Don't you hate this type of race?" And the other one's talking back, "Yeah, I do." Now let's put on our protective gear, our PPEs.
Sad. What else you got?
All right. Did you hear that a state in the United States is changing their name.
A state?
A state. Rhode Island is officially changing their name.
You can't do
to
that.
Rhode Island.
Is that real? Wait.
They're changing it to Rhode Island because technically
it's already
their
Rhode
full
Island.
name is the state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. That is their official name.
Yikes.
The state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. Their mayor, a Democratic mayor, has come out, female as well, to denounce the name and had said that they need to move forward and that the name doesn't accurately reflect, what they believe in, as well as like a lot of the communities and patrons of Rhode Island are of African descent. And, it's a harsh reminder every time when they see that name, especially on their paychecks, like city workers. When they get paid, it says the Rhode Island and the Providence Plantations. So that's being removed from all of their city ordinance and stuff like that.
Is the plantation only where is that illicit in the name that a plantation means where slaves are? Like, is plantation? It's the word plantation that they have a problem with, right?
Absolutely. I've never heard plantation used in any other sense other than the plantation.
If I can spell. I thought it was just where they would crops such as coffee, sugar, and tobacco are cultivated by resident labor.
There you go. I was like, yeah, who's picking all that crop? It's not machines. Well, now they are. No, not even now. Even nowadays, people want to get rid of like immigrants and stuff. I'm like, cool. You like paying $40 for strawberries?
It was really about the system of which the land was divided, and you use slave labor to, so fuck that.
Absolutely.
Fuck that
That's
too.
how they go.
Get rid of it. I did not know that. That's brand new. I know another thing, speaking of geography, DC statehood has been in the news a lot lately. They wish to make it a state, and according to this historic quote, the House approves statehood for the DC District of Columbia. This is the first time the chamber. Okay, so it's just the one. We still have to pass.
It's not going to pass.
It's going to die in the Republican-led Senate.
Yep.
Because
absolutely.
Why would you pass anything that gives people more of a say? If you're a Republican, you want to suppress the vote. You don't want people to vote. So that makes sense.
I heard about it. That's why I didn't bring it up. I'm like, I agree. I like what they're doing, but it's going to die. Let me know when it passes, and then we can do something about it. Let me know when everybody wants to vote out the Senate and, all those people that have been there for years, oppressing women, oppressing voters, oppressing blacks, oppressing anybody, including foreigners and people wanting to come to this country to make a better life for themselves. Until people want to get rid of them, we can't do anything. Think about Mitch McConnell. Look how long that dude, the dude is a straight up turtle. He looks like a tortoise. He doesn't look like he's ever going to die.
Okay, well,
I wouldn't be surprised.
So I don't think we should offend our turtle viewers because there are good turtles out there, really hardworking turtles.
Oh my god!
But he is in fact a turtle, so that's a thing.
Absolutely. Next, and probably the biggest one for me, is that all, if not most, sports are returning come by the end of August.
They've already been playing Premier League soccer in England.
Nobody cares about soccer, but I wanted to ask you, I don't know where you're going to put them on this list, where they fall for your most anticipated sport returning. And I'll give you 8 of them. Okay, 8.
Wow.
Although, a couple of them have been here. Or actually, I'll give you 7 because I realize these, well, they're kind of not the same, but so I'll give you 8. So the first one is going to be the NFL, of course. The next one is going to be the NBA. The next one is going to be NHL. The next one is going to be the MLB. The next one is going to be the MLS. The next one is going to be the WNBA, followed by soccer, which is worldwide, wherever you want to put that in. I'm guessing it's going to be a little bit different than MLS, which is more us. And finally, it will be UFC, which technically they have been fighting, but come August, they're going to be back to full every single week having a fight card. So of those 8, we'll start with your bottom and work your way up to your number 1, and you can give me your number 1 and your number 2 reason why.
Well, I'm not going to comment on World Soccer because they are playing already, which factors into why where I rank the MLS. So number 1 would be NBA because they already started. They just need to finish it. Then they can go on hiatus again, right? It shouldn't take very long. I feel like they are still owed an off season despite the one that they inadvertently got. So finish the NBA season. Just give the Lakers the championship already. Get it over with. So NBA would be my number 1. Number 2, I would say, it's kind of weird, but MLS, because the rest of the world is already playing soccer and all our guys aren't. And we're going to just get further behind and we already suck ass. So we need to get our... Plus, soccer is best enjoyed on TV. It's perfectly fine. You don't need anybody in the stands. It's totally fine. I feel like you're socially distant. You're about 20 yards away from the next player anyways. I feel like we can get away with it. Right? The next one, I would say, which kind of a toss-up. It's even. So there's 1, 2, and then I have 2 tied for 4th place, which is between Major League Baseball and the NFL. Which one is helped and the other is hurt by what's been going on. So, I want to see the NFL less because Kaepernick and the injustices and all why they suck and the whole kneeling during the national anthem bullshit. That just the way they've handled it has been ass. They need to give Kaepernick a job. I don't care where or what. He could be second string long snapper, but the blacklisting has got to end, and I think it's bullshit. So I want that to come back less because they've hurt me personally. I want the Major League Baseball to come back more than normal because normally I would not care. But if they come back, then that means the Fresno Grizzlies come back, and I want the Fresno Grizzlies back because I want to go to Taco Truck Throwdown. Basically, it's selfish, inadvertent way of getting Taco Truck Throwdown.
Wow.
Is why I want the MLS back. Next would be UFC because, again, it's just 2 dudes. You can get away with it. Still very entertaining without an audience. I, in fact, like hearing the coaches and the side guys coach them up on the sides. I like hearing the referee talk. I think it's cool. It's perfectly fine if they want to murder each other, the 2 of them alone in a cage somewhere. Sure, go for it. Number 6 would be the WNBA just because women got to get paid too. So they need to get up in there. I want to watch that too. I want that to come back. They're high up there. But I personally am more invested in the other parts. So for the sake of equality, I want the WNBA back because they're actually extremely fun games to go to. They're super fun. It's a party. It's a party in those stadiums when you go. And the NHL is dead last because I could not care less. But that's just me. I can't watch it. It's hard to watch. I've gone live. I've watched it on TV. It's the puck is just too damn small. If they made it a beach ball, I'd probably be more into it. But I can't see the puck. I can't see the puck. I don't know what's happening. It's so small. If you're there in the stands, then the thing below the glass is too tall, and you can't see their feet, which is where the puck is. And then if you're on TV, I can see the puck even less. So I never know what is scored other than when the light goes off and they start celebrating. I like watching the thing go in. I want to see the ball go in the hoop. I want to see the soccer ball go in the net. I want to see the guy's football hand. I want to see him catch it. I can't see shit. I don't care. And it's not even on the list with NASCAR, which means even less to me than NHL does, which is hard to believe. That's how I feel. What about you?
So, well, my list is pretty much very similar to yours. Obviously, number one is NBA because LeBron James is due to championship.
They were duped. They were duped to their season, man. So.
Well, honestly, like this is
do it for Kobe.
The most. And that's exactly why too. But I felt like this year was going to be the most competitive year in NBA because like all the big threes were kind of broken up. Golden State all got injured, so it's like it cannot be Golden State. Kawhi Leonard is not on the Raptors. LeBron James is not in Cleveland. This is anybody's championship, which is why it's going to be the Lakers. But that's one of the biggest reasons why I'm looking forward to that. And you're telling me that there's even less games, which makes the games even more significant, like the
Everyone
NFL.
Matters way more, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, who's not going to sit around to watch the only 8 games the Lakers are going to play?
I'm going to call off work if it happens, like what? Yes, that's my eyes will be glued to this.
Yes, absolutely. Second is going to be the NFL. As much as, we were talking about the whole Kaepernick thing, but I mean, honestly, like NFL is so much more, especially when you encompass fantasy sports with it, because like a lot of us haven't been talking to our friends. Yeah, and our league.
The league matters. Okay.
Basically, like our friends and us have all been like quarantined. We're not all allowed to like hang out with each other, and this is a great opportunity for us to normal again. Next would definitely be UFC. I love UFC, and they have been doing a couple, even quarantine going on, and they've found people to have COVID while they've been doing it. It's crazy to see like the way like even our sports industry has been affected by this pandemic, like seeing like fighters who would usually be like face to face being in face mask now. I'm like, that's crazy. Are they
wearing face masks in the ring?
Wow, yeah. Oh no, when they do the face off.
Oh, when they
weigh-ins and stuff, they have to wear the face mask still, and it's just like
everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Next would be, I don't know, throw any of the, no, WNBA next, absolutely. I think we all need to throw or put more effort into that sport as well.
I think they don't they need more games live. I love watching the women's March Madness way more than watching the men's college March Madness. The women's games are harder fought. They play defense. They're chucking up threes. So fun to watch. I love watching that with Sophie. We watch these Notre Dame games. So much fun.
Oh, yeah.
They need more TV time. WNBA needs more. I don't know if your mouth was agape when I said I wanted because women. I think you had thought that I was saying I didn't want to watch it.
Yeah, I was like, what?
No,
and then when you responded, I was like, oh, yeah. Excellent.
No, they need more. They need more TV contracts. Like I don't know why, because I tell you what, those women's soccer games are hella more fun to watch than the men's soccer games.
I've never seen. Well, I've seen a couple men's soccer games, but yeah, I agree with you.
The women have more shots on goal. I believe this. I don't know the numbers. It feels like it. The women's have more shots on goal per minute.
I believe it.
Try way more often. The guys will just I'm thinking. It didn't work out. I'm thinking maybe no, it didn't work out. Girls will just be like, how about from here? How about from here? How about from here? All the time. I love it. I love watching it. I think, yes, WNBA needs to come back for sure.
What do you think about if every NBA team was required to at least have one woman on the court at all times? So we're still playing 5-on-5, but you're required.
I just watched. They had a re-airing of like some national championships, and it was track and field, and there was the co-ed relay, the first time at a championship level. So it's like, we're going to get a world record because this is the first time we've done it right here at this level. So these are the fastest freaking people on the planet. And it was all, different countries. It was a world championship. It was a world championship. It wasn't the Olympics. But I guess they're planning on bringing it to the next Olympics. But it was 2 men and 2 women from each country in a 4x4 relay. And it was hella tight because the strategy went in it. It's like, who are your anchors? Are they guys? Do you put the girls in the middle? Do you go guy, girl, guy, girl? Do you go guy, girl, girl, guy? Which I think most countries did. One country went guy, guy, girl, girl. It's to build up a big lead with the men and then have their women finish it, which I think they ended up getting 3rd or 4th place, so it didn't work out.
Wow.
USA obviously won, and it was cool. It was exciting because you got one image, 1 point. There were men and women running against each other, which is just like you can't even. It's hard to imagine, but you had women and men trying to outpace each other, and the guys obviously they're gonna have longer,
strides and
what do they call strides, and yes, the guys are for the majority part faster, but some of these women were keeping up. It was extremely exciting to see. So the idea
that's
that
awesome.
You'd have a co-ed basketball team, why can't a woman play point guard, shooting guard, probably shooting forward? I don't know, but center might be a big ask unless she's checking up threes like Dirk Nowitzki. Then it's on like Donkey Kong. But I don't know. Maybe basketball is a less contact sport. Maybe they got, because there's a lot of roughness still. If they were able to hamper that down, if that could be a thing.
Not anymore. They're all babies over
Not
there.
anymore. Yeah, it's Flop City now. Yeah.
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 But I'm like, I would love to see that. I'm like, why not?
I would totally love to see that.
If we did that, you know how many more women would watch the NBA? I don't even think LeBron would be the most famous athlete. I think some other woman that was on another team that was adored by all women would be the next biggest thing. Even if she just did
moderately well. Even if she was moderately good. You'd be like, yo, did you see what she did to homeboy the other day or whatever? Yeah. She crosses one guy over, it's going to be everywhere.
Yep. Just takes one girl to cross over one guy. Everybody's going to be like, I want to see that more. I want to see that.
Do that again.
Put a woman in.
Just a...
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
I would love that. All power to women. I hope they're able to break that barrier. I know it's tough, and I know a lot of people are like, go ahead, let them join. I'm like, yeah, absolutely, let them join.
I think the women's national team needs to play the men's national team in soccer. And
that would be great.
That would be amazing. Honestly, maybe they did that once, but they need to do that shit again.
I'll give you the top 2 women's sporting events that have ever happened that I've witnessed. Number 1 was Brittany Griner playing for Baylor against Louisville. Watch that game, and you will see how 5 women can take down one giant person. Like, because Brittany Griner lost, and she was considered to be the best WNBA prospect, anything,
but they
whatever.
swarmed her. They like.
She couldn't do anything.
It was a perfect game plan.
The 5 of them. The game plan was all of us are going to take down one person. Let the other 4 try and do something. They're nothing.
Yeah, and, I don't know how competitive it would be. I would love to see it. I want to see it.
And the next one would be Ronda Rousey against Holly Holm, because Ronda Rousey definitely opened up the world of female competitive sports or combat sports.
She got knocked out in that fight.
And she did, absolutely, because everybody thought like Ronda Rousey
was
an anomaly.
No, Holly Holmes had the fists on her.
Well, everybody thought like, oh, Ronda Rousey is an anomaly. Like, she's the only best woman fighter. She's the only one. It can only be this one woman, even though there's a bunch of other women. She's the only one that's the best. And then like Holly Holm beat her, and then everybody realized
it just opened up.
Wow, there's a women's league. Anybody could be like the next. And then that's where we get to our Amanda Nunes's. Oh my God!
What is she? The killer? What do they call her? The murderer or what was?
She's vicious.
Terminator. The Terminator. What's her name? Vicious. Yeah. Don't want to meet her in an alley on a bad day.
That's a bad person right there. That's a bad woman. Amanda Nunes, man. Never.
Yeah. She will eat your heart out of your chest and watch you.
And then bring you the check.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't forget to tip.
Oh, damn.
Those were my biggest.
Has any women fight? Have any female bouts occurred in the UFC? Or have they all been men?
Yeah, there's females. There's a bunch. The most recent one was Amanda Nunes, and she defended her title.
She did fight recently.
She just look at the photo of the girl that she fought. Look at the girl from the start to the end. You can't recognize her, and she's considered like pretty high regarded because she was the only person so far to last Amanda Nunes 5 rounds. Everybody else has gotten knocked out by Amanda Nunes. Bam. Bam. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I don't look forward to the men UFC fights anymore. I look forward to the women one because they're savage. They're vicious. They're
savage, dude. They are there to clear their name, their family name, their whole genders, mentality. They're there to fight for the planet, bro. They're fighting for women in Saudi Arabia when they get in that ring. They're like, hell no.
Yep. That's why I love it, man. I love it.
Yeah, that's quite good. Speaking of the sports, to kind of bring it back to the very beginning of our show in order to end our show, NASCAR wasn't on your list. Last time we talked about the noose in Bubba Wallace's garage, which now the FBI has finished their investigation and determined that it's not a hate crime, that it's a garage
big surprise
that's been there for months. But now people are like, but why does it look like that? But also, why? I don't know. But it's one of the, they call him Jussie Smollett now. They're saying that he planted it and it's all fake.
So let me tell you,
it is awkward. It's awkward to hear that, oh, this shit's been there this whole time. But like,
can I ask you
still, you have to grapple with your history of racism and the whole Confederate flag thing. But you can't base it off a lie. But you can also use whatever excuse you want to improve yourself. I don't care what your excuse is. If you're going to go about making a positive change, you can make any excuse you want to. But it is awkward for all the people who are like, you mother racists. Oh, wait, oops. But still.
The thing is, there is no whoops. There is no whoops. There's just a, oh wow, okay, that wasn't you. Okay, we'll still stop being racist. Because my thing is, I for the life of me, if you could offer me $1,000,000, Marcos, tie a noose. I would not be able
I have
to.
no
I don't
idea
know
how to
how
do
to.
that.
Does anybody?
Um,
Who the fuck knows how to tie a noose unless you're hella Go ahead, try and tie that in a noose.
you gotta, do you,
All I know is there's
where
like
does
a
the end come
wrapping
out? You
part.
gotta do this whole little snake thing where, so if you do, but then aren't you supposed to be able to adjust it?
It's supposed to tighten, right? Is it supposed to tighten?
And I can tie a tie. I can tie neckties really good, but
that's where it goes to.
And then you go
like,
up, and then you go up and around, or you go and through, and then I don't know.
That'd be like in
Kind
the
of works.
NFL. Like, hey, why is this? Why
But
is
I've
this
literally
wire?
never done that. And like, why would that be the go-to way of doing it? Why wouldn't you just tie a knot, and that's the little ball that you pull? Why wouldn't you just tie a knot? Why is the loop? Why do you have to have a? The loop doesn't help you do anything.
A multi-million-dollar franchise.
Don't you have like things that came with it? Didn't it
Wait
come
a
with
minute.
one? Didn't it
Nick,
have a little plastic handle?
You just moved into a house, right?
Yeah.
How do you get into your garage? Do you guys have to pull
There's a
something?
button. You go push a button.
Get the hell out of here. When did they create those?
There's two, but I have a remote button in my car, and then there's another button on the wall.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
we
it's
should
really
tell
fancy.
sell this to NASCAR. They don't know about this.
I don't know how it works. I think it's alien technology. So.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. I've never seen anything in my life tied like that. Anywhere I've gone, like,
if I ever walk across something that's tied like a noose, I'd be like, ew, tie that differently. Right? You're like, no, cut that off. That's weird.
Yeah.
Get rid of that. Why did you do that? Why is it like that? Don't do that.
How
did it get like that? Did you do that? I didn't do that. There's no reason why it was tied like that.
So to that point, a lot of people are like, oh, see, everybody's like overreacting. I'm like, yeah, we're overreacting because it looks like something that a couple people have been hung by in the last week that is supposed to be outlandish, like nobody would ever think of. But you think that it's impossible that a racist person tied this? So to that point, I'll say,
well, that's what the funniest thing I saw tweeted was they were like, a noose is, oh no, that's an old noose. That's essentially that's the defense. They're like, no, wait, that one? No, that's been there, so it's fine. What?
Yeah, I'm like, that's not right. Why don't you fix it?
No. Oh, that bloody knife? No. That knife's been bloody for quite some time.
Oh my god.
Whose blood is it?
Yeah. Oh my god.
Why didn't you wash it?
That's phenomenal. Thank you for that, Nick.
I mean, yeah. Sir, that's not a parking spot. Oh, that car? No. Officer, you don't understand. That car's been parked there for over a year. It's still not a parking spot. Move it.
Hey, we can't do anything about it. We didn't do it.
No, hold on, sir. I call in the law of time. If something lasts more than a year, it's permanent.
Yeah,
if I absolutely. Get away, yeah. What? No. I haven't washed these hands in over a year. I never have to wash them ever again. A year has passed. It's cool now.
Babe, whose panties are these? Oh, those. I don't know about those. Those have been there. Those are old.
Those are fine. No. Yeah.
But we've only been together for 4 years.
No, baby.
Those are old.
I never got rid of them.
Yeah, that just means that something more psychological is going on in you. Get rid of that shit.
No, it's been there. It's normally, well, wow, I can't believe we just now noticed it. And B, get rid of it now.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that thing's still there? Like, how are we going to open it, you guys? With another knot?
You can't. That's been there. So it's part of the environment now, right?
And structural integrity of the whole
listen,
building.
Man, you take that down, I don't know what else breaks. Our internet might go out. Listen, you don't know how important that rope is, though. I think it's keeping the TV going. You move that, I lose signal on the TV. Ridiculous.
All right, Nick. Take us out.
It. That's our show. Marcos, where can people find you on the interweb?
You can find me Black Lives Matter. You can find me at blacklivesmatter.com. You can find me at any movement that's going on for the greater good of society. You can also find me at my name, Marcos Hammer, on anything.
That's right. And you can find me at change.org and petition.net. Ladies and gentlemen, register to vote and drink more water. And we'll see you next week. Bye.